So my tryst with Kuchipudi started in the early 90s at the Kuchipudi Arts Academy in Chennai under the legendary Guru Dr. Venkatachalam. Later on, I started training under Guru Kalaimamani Shailaja of the Shailasada Academy of Bharatanatyam and Kuchipudi, and under her tutelage and guidance is when I had my Ranga Pravesam, as they call in Kuchipudi, my first debut performance on stage in the year 2000. And since then, there's been no looking back. There have been many years of on and off. I've taken breaks due to other priorities in life. I moved to the US to pursue my master's. I stayed there for a couple of years. I moved back to India, got married, had a child. So dance has been with me throughout this journey. And I moved to Australia in 2013 with my husband and my 2-year-old son. It took us a few years to find our feet as a family, as recent immigrants into the country. But dance has always been a source of peace, I would say. I could even say dance has been my sort of escapism from reality, from the rat race that we are all in today's world. It's given me that inner sense of peace and happiness. Both dance and music, I should say. I'm a trained Indian classical music artist as well. So I've learned Carnatic music for over 10 years in India, and that has helped in my dance a great deal. And to me, dance, even every day I keep telling my friends, my colleagues, it just helps me to put things in perspective. It's a way of expressing myself, I could say. It's a medium for me to just be who I am. This is who I am. I am this person who's got a routine Monday through Friday of the week. I'm an IT consultant, work for one of the big fours, but then I am also an artist, I'm also a dancer, I'm also a musician, and I don't want that to be taken away from me, and I won't let that to be taken away from me. I still want to keep that going. So practicing this art form overseas and being a dancer overseas, I think it's so much more harder, right? We all have to play multiple roles. We all have bills to pay, and not everyone can, not be in the routine of a Western life here. And some of the things that were just taken for granted if you were an artist in India, right? And even just as a general thing, right? You get so much more support back in India in terms of be it family support, be it domestic support, or whatever it is. But here you are just juggling so much, and then it's just so much harder to be in touch with the art form unless you want to do that full time. So I'm here talking from my perspective, where I don't want to do that full time. I obviously have to be an IT consultant or professional or whatever, but then I also want to have a good part of my life, a good part of my time dedicated and devoted to dance. So it is definitely so much more harder here. So even in terms of if you were to perform, going for rehearsals, coordinating, everyone is busy, everyone's lives are busy. So I just feel it's much more harder. You have to probably give it 200-300% of it, to say the same level of outcome that, if you had to, compare between what it is back in India and what it is here. I have sort of worked out a model that works for everyone, for me, for my family. So I work 4 days so I work 4 days as an IT professional. So that gives me 3 days of the week to do things other than just the normal regular chores. So I use my day off to rehearse, to practice, to just go and watch shows, just to really do things more that have to do with dance and music. And then obviously I've got my other duties as a mother, as a wife as well. So I think just carving out and really carving out what my goals are for each of the roles that I play. And having very realistic goals and targets have really helped me out to juggle these multiple roles. So coming back to dancing after a considerable gap, I didn't set myself up for, oh, you know what, I want to have 10 shows this year. No, I was like, if I probably get on stage once a year and just keep in touch for how for the love of it, right? I'll be happy. And if I can start a dance school with maybe just 2-3 kids, I'll be happy. And if I can do a pretty good job at work, and that just gives me that satisfaction, I'll be happy. I guess what I'm trying to get to as I've got my priorities in my head, and I just want to make sure that I give enough time for each of those roles and make sure that I'm sort of at peace with myself. I don't think I'm going to be a very happy person if I work 80 hours a week and get that next promotion in the next 6 months, whereas I'm a super, or I've just completely dropped the ball of being a dancer. I've completely dropped the ball of being a good mother. But I guess the mantra for me is have realistic goals and targets for yourself, and so that you're not, you're at peace. I do strongly believe that art is a gift that not many people have. Anyone could be an IT professional, or anyone could be a coder, or anyone could be a consultant, but not too many people are gifted to be artists, to be musicians, to be dancers. So I definitely do not want to discount the fact that I've been fortunate enough to have that training and to have that background, and very, very thankful to my mother, to my family for sort of pushing me and giving me that guidance and the foundation, and to my guru, Shailajaka, as I fondly call her, for imparting this great art form into me. And here I am, several years later, still trying to do my bit to keep the tradition on, to keep this wonderful art form alive. So I want to start my own dance school. Dance has no boundaries, right? We want to open it up for everyone, for people from all backgrounds. Doesn't have to be just people from the Indian or the Indian subcontinent. By all means, I want to spread this art form, take this the culture and the heritage from our country, and spread it to the extent that I can here in Australia, and see where it takes me.
I still recall when I was a kid, the idea of being an Indian classical dancer as a profession was just not even in the spectrum of things. It was like, oh, you don't do that for a living. And I also recall, when you had to choose your subjects for university, I ended up choosing accounting because someone told me that I'll have enough time to dance if I choose accounting. So I did that at the end, did commerce, and ended up doing auditing, and realized that no, you don't necessarily have enough time doing a full-time job in a big firm and then coming home half dead, trying to practice something else. It's quite hard to do that whole juggle, but a lot of people do, and kudos to all of them. Sometimes in this day and age, I find that it's a luxury for us to be able to pursue Indian classical dance in a full-time basis, and you need a lot of guts for that. So next, after the intermission, we're going to meet somebody who's doing just that.